Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, episode 118. And if you haven't seen any of my videos previously, we rate everything on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Let's jump right in. We start the show with an interview with Blake Christian, talking about the main event match he's going to have with Juice Robinson. Really cool here. I haven't seen too many Blake Christian interviews. He's definitely got something there. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's a really unique and different talent, someone that's really going to be part of the next 5-10 years of wrestling, one of the big stars in the world. I really enjoy him and I like him here. I love him in Game Changer. I'd love to see him, he did have a little shot with WWE. I'd like to see him maybe get on some bigger stages, maybe some more time in New Japan. I really enjoy him, and I enjoyed this promo here to start the show. Going from that, we go to our first match of the evening, a Lucha Rules match. We got Rocky Romero and Adrian Quest going up against Atlantis Jr. and Virus, I believe it is. If I pronounce it wrong, I do apologize. A lot of the CMLL I have seen is in Spanish, the commentary, so I'm not 100% on board with how to pronounce their names. I believe they were pronounce it as Virus, kind of like Roosh is Roosh, or Black Taurus is Black Taurus. But anyway, I digress. This was an okay match. When they said Lucha Rules, I expect to get a little bit more of a fast-paced match than what we've seen. These are two bigger luchadors, so it's not what you would expect with the frenetic pace, the sprints, the dives all over the place. It was a fun match to start the show. Rocky Romero and Adrian Quest pick up the win. I'm giving this one a 3. Next up, we have what is being called a somewhat grudge match. Homicide versus Danny Limelight. I rather enjoyed this. I love Homicide. I think he's fun in a way that like Jon Moxley's fun, or Terry Funk or Cactus Jack were fun, where he might not be the most technical wrestler in the world, even though he has that talent to him. His style is just something that's interesting to watch and how he carries himself. Danny Limelight I really like as well. I thought this was a really good match. Homicide does pick up the win. Afterwards, we see him throw a lot of weapons into the ring, and before he could do something, Bobby Fish comes out of nowhere and attacks him. Basically, Bobby Fish aligns himself with Team Filthy. I thought this was all pretty good. I'm giving that a 4. After that, we get an interview with the Motor City Machine Guns, who are talking about the Stray Dog Army, who they're going to face at some point. The Machine Guns have the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship. I didn't remember them showing the tag title switch on here, but I'm glad they're acknowledging it. I know it happened. I might just have a little bit of a brain fog. I've been watching tons and tons of wrestling as of late, as I do every week, so I may have just forgot that they showed it sometime on here. Machine Guns, the promos aren't really their strong point, but they didn't do bad here. The one thing I will say, both Bobby Fish and the Machine Guns seem to get bleeped a lot. I wish that instead of bleeping it, someone would have told them before the interview, hey, no cursing, and let them be creative within those confines. I know in New Japan, when they do the press conferences, they could curse because we see it all the time. But here, they bleep it out. And I don't know if maybe that's one of the international partners, or it airs somewhere that they don't want cursing on the show. But I really wish they gave them a heads up not to use it, because it kind of took it out when they were bleeping what they were saying. Just my opinion. I think you could cut an effective promo without having to curse. Now, do I think at some points it does add to the promo and it is needed? Yes. But I think you could work around it and be creative. Coming from that, we go into our main event of the evening, Blake Christian versus Juice Robinson. This was my favorite match of the show. I like both of these guys a lot. Rumor is that Juice Robinson just recently signed with AEW. I kind of hope that's at least a 50-50 signing, where he's 50% there, 50% in New Japan, because I feel like he'll get lost in the shuffle, whereas in New Japan he could continue to flourish, continue to be as good as we've seen him be over the last couple of years. I hope Blake Christensen gets a bigger platform coming out of this and coming out of these shows, because he's a guy that I really think is right there as one of the best talents in the world. He just doesn't have the huge platform like, say, a Roman Reigns or Kenny Omega may have, or even Okada, or even Fred Rosser on the same show. Hopefully he'll get that in this coming year in 2023, and we'll be able to see just how great he really is. Juice picks up the win here. I'm giving this one a 4. I thought it was rather good. Overall, I thought it was a good show. The first match, I don't know if it was maybe my expectations were a little bit different than what they should have been, but it was probably the weakest of the three. Not saying it was a bad match, just wasn't to my liking. I enjoyed the Homicide and Limelight and Blake Christensen and Juice Robinson. I thought they were great. Were actually really good matches. I liked the Bobby Fish involvement. Overall, I'm going to give the show a 4. I thought it was rather enjoyable from beginning to end. And with that being said, let's smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. And if you made it in all the way to the end, put an all heart in the comments for Blake. My name is George Coles, and this has been my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, episode 118.